Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Godfall. I'm Sal and today I'll be breaking down and showcasing my Soul Reaper Aegishorn bleed build. This is quite the powerful build and can heal quite easily. No waiting, let's jump into the build. First up we have our primary weapon, the Renzai Mancatcher, an epic polearm that can be found anywhere and be in any element. Its primary blinds enemies whenever we hit their weak points. Secondaries you want are crit chance and crit damage. Double crit chance, and add crit chance again as your last upgrade. We will be doing physical damage. You can tell that what element by looking at the weapon and reading underneath the big number in the middle. Beside that is a Raven's Crescent Glaive, a legendary polearm that can be found anywhere. Its primary applies stasis to enemies when we hit their weak points. Applying stasis essentially makes them statues for a brief moment. Secondaries you want are crit chance, double that, and then add crit chance again as your last upgrade. Under that is our charm, the Lion Talisman, an epic charm that can be found anywhere. Keep in mind, primal versions of anything in the game can only be found in ATOT. Its primary gives us weapon charge whenever we crit. Secondaries you want are crit chance and crit damage. Double that and then add crit chance again as your last upgrade. Beside that is the God's Legacy, a double primary legendary charm that can be found while fighting Kurgani from the Fire and Darkness DLC. This means it can have any two of the other primaries from any of the other amulets in the game besides Lightbringer. The primaries we want are to gain health when we crit and apply 25% of our life stone as overhealth. Secondaries you want are crit chance and double that. Add crit damage as your last upgrade. Below that is the Aspen Band, a rare ring that can only be found in the Lightbringer game mode. Its primary increases our damage to bleeding enemies during Rampage, but also increases the enemy's damage to us. Secondaries you want are weapon charge speed, weapon tech damage, and weak point damage. Double weapon tech charge speed and then add weapon tech damage as your last upgrade. Beside that is the Dusklord Signet, a legendary ring that can be found anywhere. Its primary exposes weak points when we inflict an ailment, and has our weapon techniques inflict ailments. Secondaries you want are the same as the last ring. Weapon tech charge speed, double it, and then add weapon tech damage as your last upgrade. Below that we have our banner, the Mesa Banner Roll, an epic banner that can be found anywhere. Its primary increases our base crit chance and crit damage. Secondaries you want are crit chance and crit damage. Double crit damage, and then add crit damage again as your last upgrade. Last we have our life stone, the Vitrolic Craven Stone, a rare life stone that can be found anywhere. Its primary gives us a base boost and physical damage. Secondaries you want are weak point damage and weapon tech damage. Double weapon tech damage, and then add crit damage as your last upgrade. Now, before we move on to our augments, here are a few more clips showcasing this build. Here we have our augments. First up is the Frostfire Augment, a rare augment that can be found anywhere. Its primary increases our crit damage during Rampage. Secondaries you want are weapon tech damage, double that, and then add weapon tech damage again as your last upgrade. Next up we have Focus, again a rare augment that can be found anywhere. Keep in mind its primal version can only be found in ATOT. Its primary gives us overhealth when we crit. Secondaries you ideally want are weapon tech damage, double that, and then add weapon tech damage again as your last upgrade. After that, we have Lion's Pride, a rare augment that can be found anywhere. Its primary gives us overhealth whenever we defeat an enemy. Secondaries you want are overhealth gained, double that, and then add 2 resistances as your last upgrade. Above that is Paradise, a rare augment that can be found anywhere. Its primary gives us weapon tech charge speed whenever we crit. Secondaries you again want are weapon tech damage, double that, and then add weapon tech damage as your last upgrade. Below that is Carnage, a legendary augment that can be found anywhere. Its primary increases our crit damage depending on how much might we have on adjacent augments. This means augments directly connected to this must have might. You want weapon tech damage and polearm damage as secondaries. Double weapon tech damage and then add vitality as your last upgrade for our next augment, which is directly below that, our Presence of Mind, a legendary augment that can be found anywhere. Its primary increases our resistances depending on how much vitality we have adjacent to this augment. Secondaries you want are overhealth gain and damage to bleeding enemies. Double overhealth gain and then add might as your last upgrade. Beside that is the White Recluse augment. This is an epic augment that can be found anywhere. Its primary applies the Mark of Leeching to enemies whenever we blind them. We blind enemies with our Renzai Mancatcher primary weapon. The Mark of Leeching applies a green glow to the enemy, and every time the enemies are hit that have that mark, it heals you and allies. Secondaries you want are overhealth gain and overhealth retention. Double overhealth gain and then add 2 resistances as your last upgrade. Last but not least is our Rift augment, a rare augment that can be found anywhere. Its primary increases our damage for each ailment on the enemy. Secondaries you want are overhealth gained, double that, and then add might as your last upgrade. Now, let's jump on over into the skill tree. Well, here's our skill tree. We're still fully spec'd into weapon techniques, soul shatter, vitality, crit chance, crit damage, Archon Fury, resistance, spirit, rampage, ailments, recovery, weak points, polarity attacks, all stats, and then we have a few extras in weapon timing, takedowns, and finesse. Well, that's all I have today for this build. Thank you all for watching. I'll be having another build post this upcoming week along with the third part of my Ultimate Loot Guide. I'd like to invite you all to our Discord. We have tons of active members that play daily, guides, builds, and more. The link will be in the description and the pinned comment below. Thank you again for all the support, and until next time, take care.